Far with spring practice now, really part of preseason practice. What's your assessment of Bishop Diego's football team for 2010?
Well, Barry, we're pretty excited. I mean, I think we feel that the last couple of years we didn't perform very well, and we were very inexperienced. And I think the big factor for us going into the season is the fact that we have a greater experience than we've had in a while.
Yeah, I've noticed that we have like 8 returning players on offense, or
right. We last year really played. 4 seniors played extensively. We had a couple more on the team, but it was really only about 4 seniors that got a lot of game experience. And so, as a result, we had a lot of kids, including a lot of sophomores, that got a lot of playing time. So, while we are pretty evenly divided between our sophomores, juniors, and seniors in terms of numbers on the squad, overall the experience level's significantly higher.
Well, I know one of your key returns, Brandon Gonzalez. I mean, really hard running back last year. How's he looking this year? Is he stronger?
Brandon just is. I thought he was phenomenal last year as a sophomore. When you think about the amount of work the load that he was asked to carry, and the amount of time that he was on the field offensively and defensively, but he's worked real hard in the off season and in the weight room. And I think his durability as well as his overall strength has improved. His running style still, Brandon, kind of a north-south sort of kid, just legs always going. But I think he'll be very effective. I think the other thing that we've done is we've switched him to a cornerback position defensively, as opposed to being in the safety position that we had him last year. And I think that's going to help him offensively to be in that role.
Now, obviously, one of the big questions on offense is the quarterback. You lost Kyle Hollins. He moved to
Carlsbad.
Yeah. And who's going to be filling in? Is it somebody from the junior varsity?
Yeah, we have 2 players at quarterback for the junior varsity last year that will, at least at the outset, share that responsibility at quarterback. Nolan Tisdale got the majority of snaps at the junior varsity level for us last year. And Nolan's a nice thrower with a very strong arm. Did a really nice job of picking up the offense and during passing league this summer. And then the second kid was Andrew Saucier, who really was a standout for us on our junior varsity last year. Interestingly, Andrew will be a senior, but he had restricted eligibility last year when he joined us. And as a result, he came in fairly late, but he played JVs, and he'll be a factor for us on both sides of the ball. He'll start for us at the safety spot, and he's really just an excellent leader.
How about up front? You guys will be doing the blocking for these guys?
Well, we've got some returning experience. I know that you guys recall Paul Ortega from last year, who graduated. Paul had an excellent year for us on both sides of the ball. But Tyler Rogers and Dakota Sutton both played quite a bit on the offensive line for us last year, and they will return and start. Mike Winnewisser, who I mentioned, has been showing a lot of promise at the center position, and I think when he returns from his injury, we'll see him hold that position down pretty well. Alex Ramirez started for us at the quick tackle position last year, and I'm hopeful that we're developing enough depth there where Alex can concentrate on a position where I think he's probably most dynamic, and that's at the DN spot for us. But he certainly has experience playing on the offensive line as well.
It must be nice having a team with some experience. I mean, there's been so much learning going on after the 07 team. Has it been that way this year? A little more. These guys are not starting at square one.
Well, it is interesting. I know you guys have both seen us play before, and offensively, what we do is fairly complicated, and really kind of demands that there be some experience level, I think, to be somewhat successful. But this group seems to have picked up things really, really well. And you asked about the quarterback position. I think the thing that's pleased me most is that as much as we counted on Kyle to see 2 young guys step in and just commit to learning the system has been really rewarding for us, and it's allowed us to move things along pretty quickly. we have enough confidence in their ability to pick things up that we've put in really a new defense as well with this group. And again, just been real pleased on how easily they pick things up.
Now on defense, you've always had really good linebackers. They're so active, nose of the ball. I saw a guy out here the other day. It seemed like, wow, he's a perfect Bishop linebacker. He's on every play. Who's going to be your leader this year?
Well, we have two returnings at the linebacker position. They're seniors. Vince Figueroa, who last year got better and better as the season wore on. Unfortunately, he was a little dinged up early on in the year, but finished very, very strongly during the second half of the season. And he's back and just looked tremendous. And then Bruce Garcia, who's kind of the unspoken guy, I think, around here. Bruce was the fullback for Brandon last year, and as well as a starting linebacker. And he's an Iron Man. Just, he never came off the field last year. I honestly think there were one or two games where he literally played every down in the game. I mean, he just is that sort of kid. And he's the other inside linebacker for us. So we're pretty experienced inside with the backers. And then we're relying upon some speed and inexperience in the outside backer position with a kid who's a sophomore, Jack Gregson, who played varsity as a freshman for us last year because he's just so athletic. So he's still learning, but doing quite well. And then we have another outside backer, Jesus Valle, who's a senior who did not play last season, but is back out, and so he's got some football experience. So we think our backer position is pretty strong.
What about, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but he had quite a kicker out here the other day from what we saw.
Yeah, that's Mike Mirando. Mike's like a lot of the kickers around. He's a soccer player at heart, and just ask him. But what a positive any high school team that can get a kicker like that, it really should feel pretty good. I mean, for us, Mike has got so much potential, and he committed. He went to some camps this season to not only learn or improve his kicking, but also to learn how to punt the ball. And he'll take over those duties. Kyle Holland had the punting job for us last season, but we're hopeful that Mike can do both the punting and all the kicking chores. And we're pretty excited about what we think he's capable of doing.
Coach, you guys are in the Frontier League?
Right.
How do you feel about this year? I mean, it's been a struggle the last 2 years, but I guess expectations ought to be high this year.
Well, we're trying to keep the expectations real high. I mean, from our perspective, it was somewhat unfortunate in that our 2007 squad, I believe, had 14 seniors, which for most schools is not a lot, but for us to have 14 seniors on a squad was significant. And then to lose those 14 seniors and then go into the Tri-Valley League, we didn't do a very good job of adjusting, and we certainly haven't won too many games the past 2 years. That being said, I think the Frontier League is going to be very, very competitive. Grace Brethren is a team that finished lost in the semifinals of the CIF division that we're in last season, and they return an all-CIF quarterback and most of their skill kids, and have had an influx of transfers. And Santa Clara, I know, is very optimistic with their program, with Coach Gutierrez taking over. Right. There's some excitement there. And, the fun thing is to be able to say that tell your kids, hey, you have the ability to compete for a championship, and you should be competitive in every contest. And to be able to do that and have your kids believe it and know it, I mean, that's a good feeling.
That's great. All right.